Good morning, viewers. It's Robert Atfield reporting on behalf of Port Carling Boats. It's April the 21st, 2012. Once again, we're at the home and workshop of Mike Windsor in Gravenhurst, Ontario. As you know, if you've been listening and watching to previous videos, Mike has been in the business for quite a while now. And as many of the Muskoka craftsmen, he does excellent work. We'll go in and shop and see what he's got in store for us. Mike's been restoring a big gravette here called Touchwood. It's a 1947 gravette shear liner, and Mike has put in a new bottom and a transom, and he's in the process of refinishing it inside and out. New chrome, repowered and rewired new upholstery. Mike says he's got 5 coats of varnish on the boat at this point, with 7 more to go. This is a pretty substantial gravette. Certainly 24 plus feet, I would think. Major restoration. Mike's been working on this tender called Adelia for quite a few months now, and it's been featured in one of our previous videos. Putting a new bottom on her. Another major restoration. Mike was saying it's pretty hard to get cedar of a 20-foot length, and he was able to do that. So he's put single planking all the way down from stern to stem. Last time we were in Paul Brackley's shop, viewers, of course, Paul was working on a quite large Chris Craft cabin cruiser, 35-footer if I remember correctly. Let's go in and see what's happened since the last time we visited. Wow, what a difference since last visit. Looks like the deck's virtually done, except perhaps another coat or two of varnish, and that beautiful steamed bow section is fully in place. Nice work. Paul anticipates working on the Chris Craft until mid-summer. A lot of new wood paneling here in the interior. And the stern looks like it's pretty well done as well. The bottom work's been completed, Paul tells me. And the engines aren't back in yet, as the roof is still separated. We'll try and take one more trip back here, viewers, just as the boat's being completed. What a project. Paul and his staff have been working on a Grinnell outboard, doing his usual beautiful finish work on it.
Well, yeah, but Grinnell did. Who had one of the senior center Grinnell? He had the Shepherd. He had the Shepherd, yeah, the wheel back there.
And Paul and his staff are also refinishing this lovely cedar strip canoe. New canvas, interior stripped and revarnished. Seats recaned by the look of it. Nice job. We've come back to Patricia Ross's traditional boat finishes shop here in Bracebridge, just a few kilometers north of Gravenhurst. Let's see what Patricia's working on this morning. Viewers, we're looking here at a major rebuild of what has been a marine police boat, apparently housed in Toronto and in a fire. has got to be at least a 30-footer. Looks like the woodwork's virtually done, except for the varnishing, which obviously is why it's in Patricia's shop. We'll try and get some more history on this if we can for you. The boats we're looking at in our viewfinder here, viewers, the furthest one is a 1948 Shepherd, apparently. And the middle boat is a 1962, I believe, Shepherd. We'll go and take a closer look at those. Patricia tells me that these are both 22-foot Shepherds. Single engine. A big 8, I expect. The 60 Shepherd is obviously in for a major rebuild as well. Looks like the bottom work's done. Probably getting new upholstery. And a fairly modern looking power plant. The burnt police boat apparently is a J.J. Taylor, built in Toronto. Lots of work to keep Patricia busy here. The boat we're looking at here, viewers, is a 2008 Gentleman's Racer, 22-foot, built by Butson's, and in for some work. It's owned by the second owner, and apparently it was damaged slightly, putting it on a lift in the boathouse, so it's back for some varnish repairs. Pretty powerful looking Scorpion engine in there. Another glorious finish on this boat. Once again, this is in Tim Butson's boat shop, also in Bracebridge, Ontario. Here we have a 50th Shepherd. Obviously in for a refinishing. And some bottom work too, by the look of it. Looks like some pretty fresh wood down there. Mrs. Butson tells me that the kayak here is certainly a product of modern wood technology with epoxy, I presume, inside and out. Viewers, we're looking at a 1960s Grue 22-footer, nicknamed Dandelion apparently by the wife of the owner because it sat in the front yard for a while. It also looks like it's had some substantial work done to it. Cuddy cabin in the front. We'll come around for another view of this boat. This is vinyl decking. Not always easy to tell. Certainly cuts down on the varnishing. Very handy to have a cuddy like this for inclement weather, heavy seas. sure it's going to be a very seaworthy vessel when it's finished. Here Tim's working on a 1960 Shepherd, also a 22-footer. Been flipped over and looks like it's having a new bottom put on it. The frame still looks solid on this vessel. A lot of work ahead on this one. Viewers, this is a beautiful Rosso Marriott Red Leaves Resort on Lake Rosso in Muskoka. This is where the Antique and Classic Boat Society will be lunching today. I'll take you around for a beautiful view of Lake Rosso momentarily. And Port Carling Boats has a series of tables set up to highlight our clients' boats for sale. We'll pan around that too for you shortly. This hotel is quite recent and has changed hands, I believe, once. Certainly encourages visitors. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. Here we are on the south-facing exposure of the Marriott, viewers, with an absolutely stunning view of Lake Rosso. Looking south now, over the lake. Of course, April in Canada, this part of Ontario, is still very spring-like. We had temperatures just +1 or -1 last night, Celsius. And we're expecting, as you can see, trees are starting to bud and signs of life are everywhere. It won't be long before boats are in the water and people are enjoying their summers up here.
Yeah, so if you go down over here, we can...
This is a really stunning resort spa complex. Here we are in the lobby with ACBS event chair Gordon Hawk and a representative from Haggard Insurance. And here is the Port Carling table set up for visitors to cruise the many boats for sale on our website. Viewers, we're at the workshop of Tom Adams in Port Carling. Tom and his team are working on the restoration of Miss Canada 4, which was the first boat, apparently, to break the 200 miles per hour speed limit in a race in 1950. When we get inside, I'm going to let the camera do the speaking because the noise level from the people surveying the boat is going to be too strong.
I got to meet there, God bless it. I'm on Skype and television. It's insane. When I go to bands like this, this is just a old
Hello again, viewers. We're at the home of Matt Fairbrass, an extraordinarily competent and capable Marine and other forms of mechanic, automobiles, tractors. Matt's been working in the field for quite a few years and is an expert on antique engines, among other things. Let's step into his barn workshop and see what he's got on display. We're in the shop now, viewers, and we're looking at some of the engines under renovation here, restoration. There's a 1930 Buchanan 4-cylinder, 1959 CV 318V drive, a Junior 4 Buchanan 1936, And you can see Matt busily at work, helping a client back in the background here. Matt has written a series of articles on engine issues for the recent editions of Classic Boat magazine. As I say, he's a very highly competent mechanic.
Well, I gotta cover it. Yeah, with some lens, it's gonna blow.
Hello viewers, we're back in Port Carling and we're getting an interesting view here of the Winona 2, operated by the same company that owns the Seguin. Seguin, of course, is one of the oldest steamships in North America and the entire world. Winona is a much newer vessel, perhaps 10, 12 years old at this point, done to mimic the Seguin in a way, with anti-classic lines. And she's in dry dock and will probably be back in action by the May long weekend, I would hope, or shortly thereafter. Also a lovely vessel. Viewers, we're at Stan Hunter's workshop in Milford Bay area, and I've just discovered a beautiful old Seabird here. Looks like a 21-footer. Gorgeous old boat. With the throttle on the wheel. Interesting to anticipate what kind of an engine is in that compartment. Probably a 4, I would think, based on the size of the hatch. And utility design in very good shape. This boat looks like it's been redone inside and out. Lovely lines. Here's a front view of the bird. I bet the owner is itching to get into the water with this boat. Looks like early 30s to me. Here we're looking at Uniata 3, brought into Stan's shop for some stem work. Big old Duke, and I'm going to get Stan to describe it briefly shortly, I hope. Quite stripped down at the moment with a Chrysler Marine 6-cylinder engine. Exterior finish is still very good, with the exception of the stem here. The light's poor here, viewers, but once again, this is one of Stan Hunter's rental livery boats, one of his little Duke Playmates, and they're not that little actually. I'm sure they would seat 6 comfortably. Powered by a Buchanan midget engine in most cases. And behind the Playmate, we have a Gravette 1941 disappearing propeller boat. Looks to be in excellent condition generally. And there's that famous disappearing propeller mechanism. Raising the propeller to avoid rocks. These were, of course, one of the most functional, popular boats on the lakes in the 30s and 40s. My understanding is that this boat, named Silver Craig, is a Gravette sedan. And Stan's obviously been doing some fresh varnish work on the boat. You can still smell that wonderful varnishy smell. Looks like some pretty major other work is going on at the same time here. Lovely lines on this vessel as well. Once again, viewers, here we have Stan Hunter's armada of Duke Playmate livery boats for rent on Lake Muskoka. Stan will actually deliver these boats, I think, within reason, to anywhere that a renter would like to have them located. Very durable. tops help in a bright sunlight. One last pan around. This is certainly a newer, larger version. The Duke. 21 footer, I believe. 21 footer. Looks in need of a little TLC, but probably structurally sound. This is from the 60s, I believe. Same decade that Duke stopped making boats. Viewers, we're back in Stan's workshop, once again at Juniata 3. Oh, Stan tells me this is a 24-foot Duke. What vintage would it be, Stan?
Bob, I think this is from 1951 or thereabouts, and I'm comparing that to the only other 24-foot Duke that I know, called the Helen Louise, which came from the Bourne Triggers on Cinderwood Island.
Oh.
While I say there's only 2 of these, that's when we find a third somewhere. But as far as I know, there are only 2 of this size made. And then there's the one larger one, Crusoe, which is 30 feet. And after that, Dukes were mostly 21 and 22 feet.
Okay.
And, of course, our beloved Duke Playmates, which were 18 feet.
Yes. Oh. I'm curious about the age of it. I thought the canvas tops of this style went out in the 30s and 40s, but obviously not.
They carried on for a little while. Good ideas made sense and were hung on to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Helen Louise was post-war, and so
Okay.
I have a good idea that this one was too.
And the same kind of top on Helen Louise.
Yes,
Interesting. And you're doing some stem work here, obviously.
this is what we do. It's a little bit of dental work. We open the mouth, we remove the decay, we put in new material, and we close it all in again.
And you hope to have this done in a month, I think you were saying, Stan.
Yes, I think in 4 weeks we should be sewn up and back in order.
Well, that's amazing. Well, congratulations on your medical skills.
It's our joy.
Thanks, Stan. Over and out. Viewers, our last stop today is at Curtis Hillman's shop, just south of Stan Hunter's in Milford Bay. We're looking here at a Duke that's come in for a bottom painting and some freshening up. Quite a lovely boat. Triple cockpit. Wider than in beam than quite a few of the other Muskoka boats. This is obviously a later model. Still in what seems to be very good condition generally. If the light is strong enough here, you can see the nice job that Curtis has done on the hull. Copper bottom paint. Great boat. Curtis's main shop here, viewers, has 2 grivettes in it. One, the streamliner that we're looking at here, getting a whole new bottom. And for anyone who's not familiar with the streamliners, they're very curvaceous boats. No sharp angles on the streamliner whatsoever, except of course for the stern. The other gravette undergoing work here is a gentleman's racer apparently. Looks like he's got the better part of a new transom on the back here. And some of the frames look, actually all the frames look new, as well as the hull planking. 2 major jobs. And if you remember from Patricia Rosh's varnish shop, viewers, it was Curtis that worked on the J.J. Taylor police boat. 5 months of solid work with 2 laborers to put that boat back into reasonable condition. That's our tour for Saturday, April the 21st. Thank you very much for watching. On behalf of Port Carling Boats, stay tuned for more exciting boating news. Over and out.